Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Fred Speaks. I pray this podcast finds you in the best of health and spirits. And I haven't done this in a while, but I would like to read a few scriptures before we get into our subject for our podcast. And the first scripture is found in Psalms, the 27th chapter and the first verse. And it reads, "The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? The Lord is the strength of my life. Of whom shall I be afraid?" And this is David talking. And David was someone who had went through a lot of different things, and David had enemies. And sometimes, when we are going through things in life, it seems to be very dark. It seems like there's no light nowhere in sight. It just is a dark place. And I know many that are listening in can be a witness to that we have had experiences where we just could not see how things were going to work out. So it was a dark place. And David had many places like this or experiences where it seemed so dark. But here in this passage, and if you read it, if you go to the scripture, the word Lord is capitalized. All the letters in that word is capitalized. And he was emphasizing the Lord, that he is my light. My path may seem dark. My path may seem like it's like I'm about to go off a cliff, that everything is going wrong in my life, that it's hopeless, that there is no reason to believe that things will work in my favor. But David got to the point where he said, the Lord is present, my light. He's the one that, as I'm getting up and going about my daily activities, my ability to wake up in the morning, put one foot on the floor, the next on the floor, and be able to get about and do various things is because the Lord is my light. He's the one that's making it possible. I can't maneuver. I can't figure it out how to get through these things that I'm going through in my life. But the Lord is my light and my salvation. He will save me. He will deliver me. He will bring me through. And sometimes when you're going through things, it seems like there is no saving from that this is it. This is the end. I can't go any further. But he said, the Lord is my light and my salvation. He is the one that will direct my path. He is the one that will deliver me, save me. Sometimes he has to save me from my own self, because my own mind tells me it's hopeless. My own mind wants to go into depression. My own mind wants me to throw in the towel, to throw my hands up, to give up. But the Lord is my light and my salvation. He is not only directing me, but he shall save me. Even though my enemies are encamped about me, my enemies are speaking evil against me. They want to destroy me. They want to see me fail. The people on my job, sometimes they want to see me fail. Sometimes even around the church, they want to see you fail, because you have enemies right in the midst of why God is trying to bless you. But David got to the place where he said, the Lord is, in spite of all these things, it seems so dark and cloudy, I can't see my way. But in the midst of that, he said, the Lord is my light and my salvation. And whom shall I fear? Why am I afraid? Why can't I believe in him that he got me? He's like that pilot in the plane. I don't see him. The pilot is in the cockpit. I don't see the pilot, but I know he's in there. I know he's flying the plane. And we have to get to that place where we know that he's got me. It doesn't look good. I don't know. It's getting bumpy. It's getting rough. But I know the pilot is in control. I know God is in control. And so whom shall I fear? And he said, the Lord is the strength of my life. He is the one that is keeping it together. The enemy is throwing their darts. They're saying this about me. They're running my name down. They're doing this and doing that. They want to see me fail. But David said, the Lord is the strength of my life. They don't understand. How is he still standing there? How is she still standing? It's because the Lord is the strength of my life. And he goes on to say it again. Of whom shall I be afraid? Why do I have to be afraid? To have a dark and doom attitude that nothing is ever going to go right for me. I'm just doomed to just die in misery. No, I don't believe that. And we have to believe that the Lord is right now present, that he is the light. He's also my salvation, and I don't have to be afraid. He's the strength of my life. And I would like to move on to our next scripture, which is found in 2 Corinthians, the 12th chapter and the 9th verse. And it reads, and he said unto me, my grace is sufficient for thee, for my strength is made perfect in weakness. Most gladly, therefore, will I rather glory in my infirmities, that the power of Christ may rest upon me. And I want to move into our subject for this podcast, which is strength. And in that last verse, that last scripture, something that I want to focus on is, for my strength is made perfect in weakness. And I wanted to do this podcast because I believe that there's a lot of people that are going through some real issues. I'm not talking about no fairy tale thing you see on the movies, and you see these people that are going through different things in the movies and how they miraculously are able to get through it. But I'm talking about some real life situations, some real life issues. And we're all going through something. And he said, for my strength is made perfect in weakness. And so God is high and lifted up. God is all power. God has everything in his hand. But I am a weak creature. I'm a weak creature. I'm subject to be feeling on a high one day and then feeling way down in the valley the next day. So things are subject to change with this human body, this human mind. So the scriptures say, for my strength is made perfect in weakness. And this is God, through the Apostle Paul, trying to let the people know that God has all power. And even when you're weak, even when you're going through, and we're all, like I said, are going through something. Somebody may have experienced a death in the family, a death that came sudden, and they were not expecting it. But God is saying, my strength is made perfect in weakness. When you're at your weakest, and we're weak on a daily basis, but some situations have us to a place where we are so weak that we just want to throw in the towel, and we say, what's the use of living? What's the use of going on? But he said, my strength. If you can believe that God's strength is powerful, but it's only powerful to them that believe. You have to believe that the hidden man, the one that you don't see, the invisible man, the pilot in the cockpit, that you don't see him during the course of your flight. You don't see him. But one thing, he's there and he's flying that plane. And that's where we have to know that God is in control, and that when I'm at my weakest point, I can really say I'm strong because he's my strength. He's the one that's keeping me going. Don't think that it's you doing it on your own, that you're getting up in the midst of your troubles and your issues and situations and you're continuing on. No, it's him. And that's what we have to realize, that it's him that's keeping us going. Then we can have the testimony as David did, saying the Lord is. And the Apostle Paul talking about for my strength. Talking about God's strength is made perfect in weakness. And the first thing you have to acknowledge as a man or as a woman, that I am weak. Man, I'll do anything. I'm subject to be way down in the valley and just crying every day and just in a miserable state. It can happen to any of us at any given point in our lives due to situations that we have to go through. But if we can just see that God's strength is made perfect in weakness. And I can remember in my own life being in some places where I was so weak. I was so weak to the point where I prayed to God and I said, God, I'm sorry for being so weak. But see, I had no reason to be sorry. He already know that I'm weak. But he wanted to be manifested in me. He wanted others to see and look upon me and see that, man, he's still going. How's that possible? And they have to acknowledge there's got to be a God on his side. There's got to be a God that is keeping him going. And so we need to know that we all need strength. We all need strength. Don't fool yourself that you feel that you can rely on your own abilities. Because something will come along and knock you right off your high horse and you'll be like, wow, what happened? I'm supposed to be strong, but you'll find out that we are weak, that you're weak. And you need something greater. And that's what God is saying. My strength is made perfect in weakness. I hope that this is helping somebody, that you can get your confidence out of yourself and your own abilities and realize I got to reach to the Most High. I got to lean and depend on him on a daily basis. I can't function without him. He is my light. He is my salvation. If he's not around, if he move his hand, I'd be just like, man, a ship without a sail. I would be helpless. I would surely fall. He's my crutch. He's the one that's holding me up. He's the one that's giving me motivation. He's the one that's giving me the insight. Sometimes I don't understand things, why certain things are happening in my life, but it's him that gives me the insight, that is that light to my path. That's saying, keep going, son. Keep pressing. I know things are not getting any better. I know that things seem dark in your life, but keep pressing. Keep going forward. I know you just lost a loved one. I know this just happened to you. You had to go through this terrible tragedy, but keep going, son. Keep going, daughter. You can make it. I got you. I'll be that light for you. I'll be your salvation. I'll save you from these demons that are trying to overtake your mind, that's trying to get you to give up, to commit suicide, to just, isolate yourself from everybody. Just keep pressing. I got you. He said, my strength is made perfect in weakness. And we all need his strength. We all need some strength. Today, wherever you at, and you're listening to this, we all need some strength. There's something going on in your life and you feel like sometimes you just want to forget about it. You just want to throw it in a place that it never comes up again, but it keeps coming up. But you can say it with assurance today that the Lord is my light and my salvation, and his strength is made perfect in weakness. I'm weak, but thou art strong. He is my strength. He's the one that's holding me up and keeping me going. And I just want to encourage somebody, keep going, keep pressing. God got you. He'll be the light to your path. Even though it's dark in your life, it's cloud in your life, just keep going, just keep pressing, keep taking it day by day. And you'll find out that everything will be all right as long as your trust and your confidence is in him. He got you today. Don't be weary and well doing. Keep pressing. Sometimes we get in places where we feel like, what's the use? What's the use of being kind to others? What's the use of being there for others? My life is all jacked up and screwed up. Why should I be there for somebody else? But I want to let you know that his strength is made perfect in weakness, and everybody needs some strength. Keep pressing your way. Start being around individuals that are positive and that brings some good things in your life, that are encouragement to you. And stop being around the negative people. Sometimes when you're miserable and you're down in the valley, you try to be around people just like that because you want them to relate to you. But you need to be around some people that are encouraging, that keep going, that you can make it, that God got you, that he'll be your strength, even in your weakness, in your weakest moment. He'll be that strength for you. So I pray that someone was able to get something out of this podcast, and we want to encourage you to join us for another episode of Fred Speaks. Goodbye.